Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Collective Spotlight. I noticed the invoice comment went in there. I think Max has that automatically set up. If you want to buy a copy of 47 Furious Tales today, you could totally do that, fill out the sheet. But today is not a sales show. It is my interview show with William Sam Quinton, who most people know from the store from 47 Furious Tales, the very awesome 47 Ronin style samurai book. But Will is here today to talk about his newest project that is currently on Kickstarter. The Collective's already backed it. You can actually see our details on there. The book is called Rayne of Ages. Will, you want to tell the people a little bit about it?
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me, Dan. Good to talk to you.
Good to have you back.
So, Rayne of Ages is a new series that we're releasing that is kind of in that bad girl genre, like Lady Death and Morta, She, that kind of thing. But we took it with a fantasy vibe to it with our elf protagonist, Rayne. And she is the last surviving member of an ancient order of elven mystic warriors that once defended the Elven Empire. Now, this comic series actually shares setting with the Tarot Adventures that your customers are familiar with from Tarot Adventures books 1 through 3, and has a few villains coming next year straight out of the pages of Whisper of Persephone.
So, talk to people a little bit about what it's like to cross over your D&D property with your role-playing property with your comic property, in the sense that we now officially have a Sinopa Publishing crossover where something from the RPG realm is now coming into the comic realm.
Well, it actually made writing a lot of fun. I mean, writing's normally fun for me, but this was really next level kind of joy. Because the Tarot Adventures have a lot of information from campaigns that stretched all the way back to like 2002. So there's just this wealth of information waiting to be used and brought up, both in the Tarot Adventures and also in Rayne of Ages, that we get to reveal in that comic book format. So there's new adventures for this character that kind of reveal where we're at in the current timeline for Glenfollow and the surrounding area. And so bringing that up really lets me kind of flex the imagination and flex the creative muscle. And then also gets us better at making comics. And of course, we're still producing 47 Furious Tales. Issue 3 is going to come to Kickstarter in March. Sorry about that. And we will, of course, be shipping to supporting stores like the Collective, following a format similar to what we used here, where we place the store in there, and so that people who might go to the campaign can say, oh, the Collective is going to be picking this up, or Cowabunga Comics is going to be picking this up, or Gotham Underground is going to be picking this up, or East Side Mags, or what have you. And they can go ahead and contact the store and just put their order in there. And that way, what that does is that saves our readers from having to pay that shipping fee uniquely to them, because we can kind of roll that in the bulk that we send to the stores and make this local comic shops money, help support them, and help put books in our customers' hands, our readers' hands, at a price point they would normally get on the shelf.
And I actually was about to try to open up the Kickstarter proper here, because I wanted to kind of show off some of that cool stuff that you got going on.
Oh yeah. It's a beautiful book. It's illustrated by Nick Capone.
I was going to say, you're working with Nick Capone, so people from your Tarot Adventure stuff will know Nick, because he's done covers and some of the character designs and things like that, but this is the first time he's...
Yeah, he's done... With the Tarot Adventures, he's done... Sorry about that. He's done characters, he's done page border art, he's done a lot of work in the Sinopa Omnibus. And of course, we've also hired him for poster production, particularly a lot of the stuff that we sell to schools. So that's been a lot of fun. And then, of course, he also contributed to Dungeons and Dames, which I believe you guys sold out of pretty quick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that was a really good one, too. Gosh, I almost forgot about that one. Hey,
yeah.
Mike Jimmy!
Mike Jimmy, what's up, man? And of course, we'd like to keep Alexia working. and we respect her capabilities. So she is actually the editor on this project.
That's so awesome. So Nick Capone is doing the interiors for you as well. Is that correct?
That's correct. He also did a Virgin variant cover, and he colored J.P. Buzio's Virgin variant. Nick has done a lot of coloring for Image, Boom. God, who hasn't he covered for, actually?
Gosh, his colors are awesome. So he covered JP's cover too, you said?
Yeah, he colored JP cover, yeah.
Look at that purple in the hair, man. Like, that is just, awesome.
Yeah, Nick's a fantastic illustrator, a brilliant colorist. That piece right there you might recognize from the promotion cards we sent you. We're using that piece as a stretch goal for postcards that we're producing, so that people can get a postcard, and whether they want to frame it, put it on their desk, or mail it to a friend and say, I got a new comic. Their preference, of course, but I mean, we had to make it pretty, and that's, of course, the Farrah Fawcett homage cover that Nick did.
I was gonna say I remember that from the cards and the Farrah Fawcett look. The hair is super Farrah Fawcett. Mike, I just did the echo cancellation, so hopefully that should be fixing. Yeah, okay. I just did the echo cancellation. Cool. But yeah, I love that Farrah Fawcett hair on her. Now, another thing you were telling me on Rayne of Ages, if I'm not mistaken, the whole adventuring group that she's in, the whole adventuring group is female, correct?
Right, and she actually meets up with them. You'll see that in the end of this first issue, and we'll get to know more about them through issues 2 and issue 3. These first 3 books are basically an origin story and foundational trilogy for the series. We're going to be releasing these quarterly, and all female adventuring group. We've had some people ask some interesting questions because especially folks who have read 47 Furies Tales, they know that we don't shy away from death. Of course, Whispers of Persephone, the Tarot Adventure, stuff like that. And we were asked, would you ever kill off a main character, like an adventuring colleague? I'm like, of course I would, if it made sense in the story, So this is one of those series where we're not going to tease out stuff and say, oh, hey, someone's going to die. No, you got to read it, enjoy it. And then, if we slip in some surprises here or there for you, you'll be the first person to know as you turn the page.
Now, what is your because I know obviously the world of Glenfollow is something you can go back to time and time again.
Yes.
What is the plan with Rayne of Ages? Is this a mini series, a one shot? How do you plan on approaching this?
This is actually a continuing series. Nick and I, as we discussed this, plan to make this ongoing. Our current production schedule is quarterly. We expect to get the first 3 issues out this year, funding through Kickstarter, and of course putting out through our supporting stores. And then our 4th issue will be out next year, according to what the calendar looks like right now. So we'll be continuing year after year until I die, or Nick does.
So how do you juggle now, because now you're writing not just the D&D stuff, but you're writing 2 separate comic books and 2 separate kind of worlds with 47 Fierce Tales and Rayne of Ages, and I know you've got other things like Super Willow in the back burner,
and the manga I'm writing right now too. So yeah,
and they're very similar but different. How do you put yourself in that mindset to be writing 47 Fierce Tales, or in that mindset to write Rayne of Ages? Is it different?
Yeah. The mindset for 47 Furious Tales is very gritty and very analytical, because of course you have to be mindful of the history. Because with 47, we're really hanging on to the historical points, and then we're kind of filling in the gaps that have been lost to time. And of course, the thing about looking at these samurai stories is that I can fall back on my martial arts background and talk to friends of mine. I have one of my friends who we were in the dojo together for 12 years. He's been living in Japan for the last 15. And so I can bounce some things off him, fact check a couple of things against local history, stuff like that. And then when you look at Rayne, I get to crack open 20 plus years of role-playing games and generate elements out of old stories and bring new tales into it. And it's kind of a different mindset, but just as much fun. And then for the manga is kind of a one of those things where you get a little cut to let the bad feelings out kind of thing. The manga's got some dark takes on it. Matter of fact, we might have to put an 18 plus age thing on it. I'm not sure yet. Kind of depends on what we do when we get to the art phase. But yeah, it's definitely a subtle little changes in the thinking to make sure that you're kind of staying with the tone of the stories you're diving into.
All right. I know it's like it's impossible to ask somebody their favorite child, but have you had more fun or a different experience writing Rayne of Ages after you've been writing 47 Fierce Tales now for a year or two, and now you kind of got to write something different? Was it a fun, was it cool, was it fun for you to get to do something a little bit different?
Yeah, actually, being able to transition from one project to another is like, going underwater, swimming to the other side of a pool, and then coming up for air, right? So you get that fresh load of invigoration, and you dive back in, and you swim to completion, and you come up and you grab another big gulp of air. And yeah, it's like that. I come up for a moment, just, all right, we got it, let's do it again. And that's a weird analogy, but it's fairly accurate.
So we got actually, let me put it back up here. We have the campaign for Rayne of Ages going on right now. I think you still got 2 weeks-ish, a little over 2 weeks.
Like 17 days, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, 17 days.
We had
almost halfway there already.
Yep.
And I noticed down here as I made my way. I wish I have suggestions, Kickstarter. I have suggestions, but you already have the stretch goals that you're hoping to hit, and both of them are awesome, like prints and postcards. Yep. At Sonoma Publishing, you guys have done a lot of different postcard style things. Like actually, even for 47 Furious Tales, you did the I guess these are the postcard size, right?
Well, no, that's the 5.5 by 8.5 art print size. That's okay. The same size the Buzio one will be. The postcard size ones are the same size that we have for the RPG character cards that we send for the free RPG stuff days.
So yeah, both of those things are very nice sizes. Those postcards, if you've ever been to our store for a free comic book day, and you were an RPG player, we gave those away during those days thanks to Will. And those things are very nice. What I love about those is on the back, you put some information about the character, but no stats, nothing crazy. So like my DMs love it because they can hand it to their players and not feel like they're getting an advantage. They can just look into, you meet this guy as you're going through. And people love those postcard character cards.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. The Patreon guys have enjoyed them. And we're hoping to get back into production later this year for those. Nice.
Yeah. And then what's it like? So you mentioned earlier you have Alexia as an editor on this.
Correct, yes.
Alexia has been your longtime artist on 47 Fierce Tales. Mm-hmm. What's it like having her in that editor role? And obviously it's got to help a little bit, the fact that it's somebody you trust.
Right. And it's important that she do that. She was also the editor or art director for Dungeons and Dames. Mm-hmm. And the thing is that Alexia and I have worked together for quite a long time on a lot of projects, and my pie in the sky hope is to eventually get to where I can hire her full time as the editor for the comic lines that we're working on, because writing and formatting and getting these stuff out takes a lot, but as we bring on more titles, it's going to require more editorial review than I can realistically provide. We've got Necroholic coming out that I'm editing for Brian Lee, and then we have some other projects that we're looking at for 2023 as we start to increase the number of titles that we're bringing to the world, which is important because once we have mastered our quarterly production schedule, being able to produce books is better for the company, certainly, but it's also better for our supporting stores. Because when people say, "Oh, hey, it's March and we've got new Sonopa books. It's June and we've got new Sonopa books. It's September. Yay, it's Christmas time and we've got the new books and whatever Sam cooked up for the holidays." That kind of thing, that kind of regular release schedule is a lot more ideal than what we get plagued with a lot in indie comics, which is, scramble, 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 try and get it all together, get it funded, get it out, deep breath, And so when you have something that doesn't fund, like when issue 3 failed to fund last time, that tends to throw your entire production schedule off. So you have to find solutions when you have things like that to knock you down. And the solution I've come up with is, putting things together so that we can get them out and get more support in stores so that more people are reading the books, and just make it a stronger release and publication model for everyone. And a big part of that's having Alexia on to get the edits done. I think I lost you, Danny. Danny's trying to come back in. I don't know if I'm on or not, guys, so sorry if I'm just really quiet. Waiting to see when we get Danny back.
Hit the camera one more time. What the hell?
Connection thing.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Seems like we have technical difficulties. Apparently, I've been viewable, but you have not, so I've tried to fill in a little bit. Joe House says dumb internets. Yeah, Joe's right. We got some dumb internet moment.
Check which camera's connected real quick.
Now remember, guys, for those of you who are local to the collective, you can always go down and maybe say, "Hey, we got questions. We got questions."
Check the audio. Cam mic audio.
And I can hear you guys.
Yay!
You can hear us? Okay.
Yeah, and I can see you.
I think like Joe said, it was an internet connection issue.
There we go.
Joe's been in our store. He knows the internet's not great.
Perfect.
I ran a wire.
Not to
Danny's
hear.
back.
I'm back. All right.
I hijacked the show for a moment. You guys are now, of course, giving away free bourbon with everyone who comes.
I heard. We have a bar now, apparently, according to Will.
Yep.
Hey, we're back. Yeah, I think it's the internet here, so bear with us. We got about 10 minutes to go. Hopefully, we go straight through. So, Will, you mentioned how like the release schedule can always it's kind of fluid, and things will affect it. If you have things the way you'd like, what does Sonopa Publishing's release schedule for 2022 look like?
I'd like to get our current calendar through this year is an alternating month release schedule. So we have our Kickstarter for Rayne this month. We are actually fulfilling next month. In fact, I just ordered proof copies of an unlettered version of the book because all the art is done. Because I want to check, the print on this, as it's a black and white interior, so we want to make sure that all the contrast levels are correct. So I should have those next week, and then we should have lettering done next week, and I'll be able to make any final adjustments at that time. And then, of course, 47 Furious Tales in March, and we'll be shipping in April. And then in May, we have Necroholic and shipping in June. Now, the goal is to eventually get us to where we have a release schedule where we're doing multiple books per crowdfunding campaign, and getting to where we have every store who's carrying us go ahead and get their orders in so that we can, ship so much of it into shops so that people have the convenience of getting them without having to pay, the prices you have to charge on Kickstarter, because individual shipping is what really drives that up. Between the Kickstarter fees and the individual shipping, you're talking at least $10 just to get the book there, not counting the book itself. So when we find stores like the Collective who are supporting indie comics and who are selling our books and profiting from them, we'd like to make sure that we can work with them to get those in there. And that release schedule like that, I think, will work very well through this year until we can get to a quarterly release schedule next year. Now, if we do very, very well with production, it's, I guess, technically possible we might be able to get to a quarterly release schedule with multiple books this year. But right now we're playing it safe on what we're promising, just like we do with every Kickstarter campaign. We promise what we know we can deliver. And it's the same here. We're going to make sure that we can get this out and get it done. Of course, Alexia is working on issue 3. Still got a little bit of work to do on that. So we will actually be scheduling that launch to coincide with the final work being done on it.
Nice. I know last year, Death to Glenfollow gave you a little bit of headaches with, with formatting and everything. But does 2022 have an RPG aspect in it?
Yes, at least 3. We're hoping to finally get out Sinopa Omnibus Volume 3, Sinopa Omnibus Volume 4. I'm still working on Tarot Adventures Book 4. I'm hoping and praying that we can make that by November. If not, it may run into the following January. But the other book that is, I guess, the hot topic around the water cooler, so to speak, is Moonlight and Madmen, which is a source book for werewolves in your 5e role-playing game. I actually started development on that at the request of a friend of mine after Whispers of Persephone. It's right now I'm targeting a release in October, if it's fully done, okay? Because we need to make sure that everything's absolutely complete so that we don't have anything waiting a month or two to fulfill. The goal is to make sure everything's fulfilling immediately, right after those campaigns are done. Excuse me, sorry about that. So hope to get that out in October. We'll be using both my personal account, which I use for comics, which is what we have Rayne of Ages on, and then also the Sinopa Publishing company account on Kickstarter. And then subsequent Indiegogo campaigns to run with those. And the final thing for RPG stuff is we are still putting together the art team for Dungeons and Dames 2022. And so the theme for this year's release is fantasy and steampunk. So we'll have fantasy races and steampunk settings and attire, and be throwing that out with some familiar names and some familiar work. Now, I can tell you we won't have Alexia Veldhausen on that because she's going to be tied up on some other projects this year. We already know that she's going to be pretty much booked as far as what we can book from Sinopa for her. And then she's got some other projects from other companies and entities that she's also scheduled for. So, but we will be expecting to see the return of Warren Brown with colors by Phil Leone.
Lunchbox Warren.
Yep, with colors by Phil Leone. We have several of the other artists who are coming back with that, including Nick Capone. So, yeah, it's going to be one hell of a show with that. And that will be another campaign that'll be used to benefit the artists, just like the previous one was. The only thing I got out of that was 10 copies of the book.
So I don't know if I know so much has happened behind closed doors, I don't think we've ever actually made an announcement just yet. And since you're here, I think we probably can. So some people may know that in 2021, the Collective did their first ever Kickstarter, which was Tales of the Collective, which I guess can now be officially referred to as Volume 1. We are doing, I guess, what can be called Volume 2, which Travis Gibbs said we will probably be called Tales from the Collective 2022 rather than Volume 2.
That's my understanding, yeah.
But William Sam Quinton and Alexia Valhausen will have a little 47 Fierce Tales action in there. I think it's some stuff that we've seen before, but it will be in our book, correct?
Right. We're bringing some of the work from 47 Furious Tales in for you to help contribute and help, lend some assistance with that project. And I believe that someone suggested commissioning Alexia on some cover work.
I actually was on the phone with her yesterday. So
Outstanding.
She is doing a cover for us. It's going to feature the 47 Furious Tales character, as well as one of the stories in this book, I believe, is about, and gosh, I feel terrible because since I've let Travis take the project manager job, it's like I don't quite remember everything, but I believe one of the others has to do with dogs, with canines. So we figured since Alexia is used to drawing animals, we can do 47 Fierce character with some dogs around it. And I think she'll knock it out of the park, and we're going to be able to finally have a cover from her. Well, I mean, we've had covers from her, but we will have a cover from her.
Yeah, we've got to get you guys some original art down there. I know you guys have some other folks who are still trying to get original pages from her. Maybe we'll work up a store tier that has some original pages for issue 3.
For sure. And honestly, man, if you guys, and I know 2021 was weird, but if you guys want to make a trek to MegaCon is a great show. I hear most creators do really well there. But if you guys ever do a Florida show with both of y'all, you know that you guys can book a signing here at the Collective, like in between. If your show is for the weekend, you can come here Wednesday, or if your show's during the week, you come Monday. I mean, we will make time for you guys.
Yeah, I'd like to do MegaCon. I'm wondering, I have to find out some information about the price points on that. Also trying to see if we can get into New York Comic Con, which is going to be a tall order for a very small table.
Well, you guys did. No, it wasn't New York Comic Con, but you guys did a convention up there in was it New Jersey? Maybe a couple.
Right, we do the Garden State Comic Con in the summer. Sonoma does. The other folks also sometimes do the winter show as their art booths. But we had. It ended up actually only being 3 of us because Brian Lee was not feeling well. So we had myself, Alexia Veldhausen, and Delia Gunderson. And I'll tell you, we absolutely just slayed it. It was great. We sold completely out of RPG stuff while we were there, like completely out of RPG stuff. And then, of course, just had a blast hanging out with Alexia and Nick, Fernando Ruiz, Delia Gunderson. Got to see Paul Walcott. It was fantastic. and Lloyd Brigery too. If you aren't familiar with Lloyd's an absolutely amazing artist as well. Absolutely incredible. Just a marvel of the world, really.
Yeah, you pretty much surround yourself with nothing but good artists. That's one thing I feel like people can guarantee from Will and Sonoma Publishing is good art.
Well, there's a secret to that. You know how you do that?
How?
You pay your people well, and you pay them on time, and you pay them in money, and you live up to your contracts, and people keep working with you. That's great.
Yeah, it's awesome, man, and I'm really excited for Rayne of Ages. I mean, I feel like February can't come quick enough. I know John Arroyo, who I think we were talking about in his Dungeon Corner just the other day too, that he's hyped about it. So we're really excited for this one.
I got something to show you. Now, I did this up today because I had to order proofs, like I said. But what I have is I have a little quick something to share with you. No one else has seen this outside of the Sonoma production team.
Ooh.
So literally, well, I think we did a still image on the Twitter feed, and that's about it. But let me get this together. Let me know when you can see us.
I can see us.
All right. So this is from my printer, and this is the actual preview screen. And it will let you interact with it and review what the pages look like.
Ooh.
And so this is the unlettered version that we're using to test with the print. And inside this little bundle are all 32 pages of Rayne of Ages issue 1.
Wow, dude!
And I'm not gonna spoil more than that, but we've got everyone's credits.
Nick's line and ink work just looks so good seeing it right now. Like, oh, I can't wait,
And
man.
this is that main cover by Aisha Gulsenev. Absolutely gorgeous work from her. The title card was done by Brian Lee. Aisha actually did her own colors on this, and of course we credit everyone on the team with this. So you've got, not just me and Nick, but Aisha, Brian Lee, JP Bucio, Taylor Esposito, who's our letterist, and Alexia as the editor. We always make sure that everyone gets fully credited on the books that we put out.
That is awesome, man. We can't wait to get Rayne of Ages and 47 Furious Tales, and honestly, anything else you guys are doing. Necroholic is going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell the people where they can find you on social media, like if they're looking for you or Sinopa Publishing?
Sure thing. You can find us on Instagram at Sinopa Publishing, and Sinopa is Sinopa. On Facebook at Sinopa Publishing, and then me personally as William Samuel Quinton. Everyone calls me Sam, except for some reason some people call me Will, so it's easier. And then on Twitter as Sinopa Publishing, and then of course on Kickstarter and Indiegogo, both as Sinopa Publishing and as WS Quinton. And if you ever see one of our campaigns and you're like, oh, that looks great, come on down to the collective, say, Danny, the Sinopa guys have this thing. Are you getting it? And Danny's probably going to say yes. And then go ahead and order it from there. And then he'll bump his order up for me, and we'll make sure you have enough.
Yep. More or less, I don't want to say like 100%, but more or less, if you see something on one of Will's Kickstarters, we can get it here at the store. It's almost like diamond.
100%, because you get everything that I've launched since
100%. So literally, he's essentially another distributor to us. We get stuff from Diamond, we get stuff from Sinopa Publishing.
Yeah, we publish and we ship direct to retailers.
Yep. So,
well, I hear now. In all fairness, though, we did have one package we sent to you that got messed up. I remember that.
It was prints, and it was 100% the carrier system. Yes. I know you shipped it, and when it comes to things that are a little bit bigger in comics, it's tough to ship. Nothing's they don't make perfect boxes for things that size.
But we replaced it that week. You had it that week. So
you had it to me 3 days later.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's really helped us with our retailers is making sure that we take care of them. So if you guys like what we do and want to keep supporting Sinopa, make sure you're supporting your local comic shop. Come into the collective and buy up the rest of the 47 Furious Tales books. They'll order more from me.
Oh yeah, I tell him all the time. He's nice enough to always put them as an extra on the Kickstarter. So whenever I need more, I just pledge to a Kickstarter of Will's, or I'll send him money directly. But 9 times out of 10, he has a Kickstarter going that I can add.
Yeah. Easy enough, man.
Will, thank you so much for coming on, man. Best of luck with the Kickstarter. I know you guys are going to do great. Can't wait to see the book next month. And again, I will probably have you back on the show when we do our roundtable for this collective initiative book, because I know we're going to have CJ and Joel and some of the other guys on as well. So I can't wait.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be really excited to get that book. And I'll tell you, I can't wait to see what Alexia does with the cover on that, because she hadn't told me yet if she was doing it or not. And I knew that she was talking with folks about it, but I didn't know if it had been confirmed.
She gave me the call yesterday. I got to get her character designs for the other characters, because obviously she's got the 47 Furious ones down.
Yeah.
And then we're ready to rock and roll, man. And that should be ready by the time we go to Kickstarter in February. So
outstanding.
So take it easy, Will. Thank you so much for coming on, man, and best of luck with all the books and Sinopa Publishing.
Always a pleasure. We'll see you soon.
Take it easy, man. So thank you so much to my guest, William Sam Quinton from Sinopa Publishing. His current book, we have Death Comes to Glenfollow, his RPG in the RPG section. Awesome book, cover up by Nick Capone, who will be working on Rayne of Ages. And then we do have 47 Furious Tales #1 and #2. Both of them come for $5.99, and they have cool prints, 8x8, 8.5 prints on the back, done by Alexia Valhausen. And you can pick up any of those here at the Collective. And again, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Will. And we will see you tomorrow for Max's happy hour auction. Take it easy, y'all.